That's Dr. Yaya.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Absolutely. Let's get this party started. I sincerely affirm that you all are doing well today, that everything is absolutely great. How you doing, Chris? It's good to see you. All is well. Absolutely wonderful for you on this day. And you know what I say, every lesson that you needed to learn today, you learned it. And absolutely every bit of inspiration that you needed to encourage you, you received it and you received it well. It's a great day. I am so very happy today. Well, I'm always happy. If you don't know that, happiness is an inside job. You know what I mean? So how you doing? That is good to see you, sis. So here we are at this place. I was gone for a whole week. You guys would have thought I was on this serious vacation, but I was relaxing. I really, really was. I was relaxing. It was good. Got a lot of meditation in. Got a lot of emails in though, but it was pretty good. I was supposed to be on TMZ this week, but I'm just gonna wait maybe until next week, you know. I'm going to wait, but I was supposed to be on today. Then again, I might be on this week. You never know. I might just say, hey, I'll do my segment this week. I don't know. I don't know, y'all. I don't know, but y'all know what it is. This is 30 minutes of practical wisdom and common sense. Glad to be back. And so we can get this party started. But just as a little side note, before we get into this other stuff, let me just share some things with you all. Now, I don't know how you guys really feel about how can I say? I've been seeing a lot of stuff as pertains to relationships, but not just relationships. Like people want me to discuss those May December romances. Okay, just to give you guys a heads up, Raquel was telling me that she received a letter from a 25-year-old female who is dating this like 60-year-old guy. And it's a lot of stuff. The email is pretty long, but I'm looking forward to whatever this email is involved and whatever it entails. It's not going to be tonight, okay? Because she was acting like she was writing a 4-page letter. You understand me? Like she was falling in love or something. We're going to have to really check this thing out. This might, if I do that email, we might have to go over 30 minutes because it's pretty long. You know what I'm saying? It's a pretty long email. But that's very interesting. I wonder what you guys, think about stuff like that. So yeah. Well, we've been getting a lot of those lately. And what I think Raquel is trying to do is she's trying to write money. She's trying to kind of, weed out the same questions, going through the emails as much as she can to weed out the same type questions that I get. So I'm not going over anything. And then most of the people say, well, you didn't answer my question. Oh, you didn't answer my question. I'm like, I did answer it. You just didn't get the video of it. It was probably already answered, but because I get the same question so much. How you doing, Carl? It's good to see you. That's probably why you missed it. So she's just trying to go through all of those things so that we can not have the same type questions come up. And every now and then after so many episodes, I'll certainly do a review for everyone to make sure that everybody's up to date. Everybody's doing up to date and doing what we're supposed to do, as it were. But I had a nice holiday. I really don't celebrate like that, but I just like to relax and enjoy myself. I didn't spend a lot of money because I didn't have any gifts to purchase. No gifts to purchase. So I just spent money on me. Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. I gave everyone what they got last year, and that was the gift of love. Right. Wisdom and some common sense, because it's what I do. It's what I give. So that's what I gave. Okay. And if you didn't receive yours, You can come get it anytime that you like. I got all of this common sense over here for you. So let's get right down to it. Let's have the discussion, shall we? Let's have the discussion. So, time of the year where people make all sorts of New Year resolutions, right? And they're so adamant about it and excited about it. And I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But we're going to discuss tonight why your New Year resolution will always fail. Your New Year resolution will always fail. And we're going to have that discussion. I know you don't want to hear it because you're trying to lose 30 pounds, but you've been trying to lose 30 pounds for the past 5 years. Let's really have the discussion. I know this is the year, 2021 is the year that you were going to stop drinking, but you've been drinking for the past 20. Why stop now? I know. This is the year though. This is the year you're going to read more. 2021, I'm going to read more books. But guess what? You haven't read a book since you graduated from high school. Let's just be real. So we are going to have the discussion. I know it's a tough one to have. It's a tough one to have, but we're here to have it. So we're going to discuss why your resolutions will always fail. Yes, they will. Let's break this down. First of all, a resolution is a firm decision, right? To do or not to do something. Let's talk about what a resolution is. So that's what a resolution is. When you make the firm decision that you're either going to do something or you're not going to do it. And some of those resolutions you've made where you just throw them out the window, forget it, I'm not going to do it. I absolutely not going to do it. But there's an issue with that. And the issue with that is based on your habits. That's the issue. It's based on your habits. Now, it's one thing in your mind to say, I have a desire and I want to do right. It's another thing for your habit to say, F you, not today. That's not what we're doing. Because your habit is going to override any good intentions. Remember that saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. My intentions were good. I know, but your habits, honey, what you're doing with your life, okay, will always shine through. You know, the mouth will say anything. The mouth will say anything. So here you are. You have this list of resolutions, and people usually go big with these lists of resolutions. And that's one of the reasons why 80% of people who start a New Year resolution will fail, right? Okay, will absolutely fail because of the fact that it is too big. It is too big. You can have a resolution. Remember, we're not talking about goals. We're going to talk about that because you said a resolution. You said, I firmly have made this decision. Okay. So if something is too big for you and you can't really get over the hump, you're not going to follow through with it. And guess what? You're going to feel like a failure. You're going to feel like a failure. And then you're going to say, well, I really, at least I tried. At least I tried. No, you hit a wall and you just figured out it was too big for you and that you couldn't do it. I mean, who says this? Let me give you an example of a resolution that is too big. Okay. You are 300 pounds and you say by March, you're going to lose 100 pounds. January 1st, I'm losing 100 pounds by spring. By March, 21st, by spring, I'm losing 100 pounds. Hey, bro, how you doing? That is too big for you. You're going to fail. Why? Because you have not been in the habit of breaking down things in sections. That's why your resolution will always fail. If you don't break it down into increments, into small sections, and give yourself, like Carl was saying, if you don't give yourself those goals, if you don't say, this is what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do it in this amount of time, If you don't do that, you're always going to fail. Your resolution is going to fail. It's too big for you. Again, it has to go with what your habit is. Listen, if you're used to eating chocolate cake and donuts and just having, Hershey's chocolate bars all the time, there's no way in hell January 1st you're going to say, oh, I can just stop. I'm not having any more sweets. It's not going to happen. Let me tell you something. You're a lying wonder. And as soon as you take a bite on January 10th, because usually, your certain resolutions really don't last into that second week of January, and by February totally has failed, right? You're lying to yourself. And then you're going to feel like, oh my goodness, I didn't make it. And since I didn't make it, I might as well just give up. Well, guess what? The rest of the year is not over with yet. The rest of the year is not over with yet. And that's another thing that you do. That's another reason why they fail, is because you give up too easily. As soon as something does not work, that's what we have a tendency to do. It's our habit. We have a tendency to say, well, man, I tried, y'all, honey. I went to January 21st without any cake, honey, but I had to have this cake. So I guess. Wait a minute. But you still have some months within this year to get back on track. Right? But that is normally not what happens. That seldomly ever happens where people say, okay, I'm back up and I'm going to get back on track. But if you set it as a goal, that's the only way it's going to happen. If you begin to set this thing as a goal, and if you begin to just break this thing down. Again, if you don't, it's going to cause you to feel like a failure. And with that comes along depression. With that comes along sadness. With that, you self-talk. And let me tell you something about self-talk. Self-talk is the most important thing that you have in your life. It's what you say to yourself. And anytime you feel like something didn't work out, or, you grab that Hershey's with almonds because you couldn't help yourself, again, your habits, right? Your habits will far outweigh your resolutions. And you begin to say that, and you say, okay, I feel like a failure. That will lead you into depression, because you're ready to give up. You're ready to say, I couldn't even make it 10 days. That doesn't help. That does not help you at all. And again, that's why your resolutions will always fail, because you're not willing to get right back on the bike. You fell off the bike. You're not ready to get right back on, because you figure, what's the use? You figure, dang it. Well, I just had some Krispy Kreme and I said I wasn't. So I did. So what's the use? I might as well eat Krispy Kreme for the rest of the year. Right? No. Set it as a goal. Another reason why your resolutions will always fail is because you tell people. You tell people. And I'm not talking about you tell people to be accountable. You tell people because of your ego. You tell people because, everyone seems to have a resolution. So let me tell you, girl, what my resolution is. I am not going to be having sex with Jimmy no more, because I know he ain't no good for me, girl. And I mean it. I mean it this time, because resolutions can can be anything. You understand me? And so you like, I'm not having nope, I'm done with Jimmy. Girl, that's what you said last year. I mean it this time. I mean it. Oh no, me and Jimmy is gone. And so when we see you do the walk of shame coming out of Jimmy's house, and you looking embarrassed and humiliated and shamefaced, your friend gonna say, girl, I thought you said, I know. But see, what had happened was, right? See, I know I wasn't going to deal with him anymore. And I knew I said I wasn't going to deal with her anymore. But see, let me tell you what had happened. And they just looking at you like, okay, all right. Don't tell them, because most of the time they won't believe you anyway. They're not going to believe you anyway. And so that's going to make you feel some type of way, because you're going to feel like, guess what? I told you, or you told me this, and you didn't follow through with it. And I don't know about you, but some people like to throw it in your face. Girl, remember when you said you wasn't gonna mess with Jimmy? Y'all wasn't gonna have sex, girl. You was done. That was your New Year's resolution. And you've been in that man's bed every night this week. That's going to make you feel bad. It's gonna make you feel like crap. Okay? Don't tell them. Only share when you feel like you have gotten a handle on this particular goal you're trying to meet, and say, guess what, you guys? I have not seen Jimmy in over a month. They're going to be surprised. They're going to be like, what? You haven't seen Jimmy? What's that all about? Well, I've made up my mind that I didn't want to deal with him like that anymore. But if you tell them ahead of time and you happen to fall on Jimmy's ping, then you're going to feel like you're humiliated. Then you're going to feel like, again, what's the use? Don't tell anyone. I know, Money. I'm trying, Money, this, I'm trying to be family friendly. So you don't want to tell anyone that that's what you're doing. Yeah, you just happen. When people walk out the house, when people say those things when it comes to sex, only when it comes to sex do people say stuff just happens. You never hear when a person comes and says, damn, you gained 50 pounds. It just happened. You never hear that. You absolutely never hear it just happen. You only hear it just happen when it comes to sex. Makes no sense to me, but that's what they do. You know what? Let me tell you, it just happened. It just, it just only when it comes to sex, Money. Only when it comes to sex. Absolutely ridiculous. It just happened. Huh. But this is the other situation that we find ourselves in. Besides having resolutions that are too big and that we have not broken down into goals, along with telling people your solutions, which you should, your resolutions, which you should not do, because they will throw it back in your face and you'll feel even more miserable, and you'll feel like, what's the use of trying? You don't want to do that, because that's a problem. That is a huge issue. The next thing, and I know you guys don't want to hear it, because, this is the good doctor and I'm the one who's always telling you to be great, and you certainly are great. But some of your resolutions are not only too big, but they're unrealistic. They're unrealistic. There must be a resolution, or should I say a goal that you set that will keep you focused. It must be a goal that says, this will keep me focused. And what I mean by that, let's go back to your habits. Your habits, again, will always outweigh and overrun whatever resolution you have made, because you always go back to your habits. You cannot say, you know what, I am going to read 4 books a month, and you haven't read a book since you left school. That is unrealistic, because it's not something that you're used to doing. Again, it has to be something that keeps your focus. It has to be something that keeps your focus. So that means for you, do something that you have a desire to do more of. Okay? If you have been walking, say, okay, I'm going to walk more. Why? Because that's more realistic, because you're already in the habit of walking. So many times we have these unrealistic resolutions that we just say, I'm going to get it done. I'm going to read 4 books a month, every month. It's going to be on. I'm going to join this book club, and the only thing you're doing is wasting money, because it's unrealistic. It's unrealistic. You don't even read magazines. You don't read anything. You don't read articles. And now you want to jump out and read books. Doesn't work like that. And again, if you don't accomplish this thing, you're going to feel like you failed. It's going to cause you to be depressed in some area of your life. When all you have to do is switch that mentality that you have and say, okay, I have to make this realistic. I have to make this as realistic to what I can do right now. That's why when people jump up and they say, you know what, I'm going to go to the gym. And that's the main resolution that people have. I'm going to the gym. Beginning of the year, I'm gonna get this gym membership and I'm going to the gym every day. You don't get up and walk to the end of your driveway every day. You don't think about it. Most people don't even walk to the end of their driveway every day. But you're going to the gym? And then you make excuses for not going as often as you proclaim that you would go. Oh, I have been busy. Oh, I overslept. Oh, this was happening over here. And that brings us to the next one. Your resolutions will always fail because of excuses. I mean, it sounds good. Hell, anything sounds great when you don't put it into action. It sounds wonderful until you actually have to do something about it. Everything sounds great. You know, Jimmy sounded great until he started cheating. He was looking good on the outside. And, oh, he's so sexy. And then you found out he was a scoundrel. Lisa was looking wonderful until you found out she was a gold digger. Everything looks great until things are put into action, until you see what's going on. And so we make excuses. I am going to be a better person this year. What in the hell does that mean? What in the hell, really? Money. Carl, look, what in the hell does that mean? You're going to be a better person. What kind of person were you last year? What does that, what the hell does that mean? Another reason why your resolutions will fail is because you are not direct. You are too vague. You are too vague with your resolutions. I'm going to be a better person. Well, I don't know what kind. I don't even know what to say. I don't know what kind of deep-seated stuff you got inside, but what the hell is going on? Anytime you cannot pinpoint directly what you want to change, it's going to fail. Being a better person could mean that you don't let your dog shit in your neighbor's yard. That could be, being a better person. Hell, being a better person could mean that you don't go around cursing out everybody because they're not wearing a mask. I mean, being a better person could mean anything. Can mean anything. So your resolutions will always fail when they're too vague. I'm just going to be, yes, an awesome, I'm going to be a better person. That messes you up. How you doing, Kaz? Good to see you. That will mess you up every time. That's why it fails. Another reason why it fails, I hope you guys are writing this down because I have not numbered anything. This is off the top of the dome because that's the kind of wisdom that I roll with, okay? Listen, another reason why, and this is huge. This is huge. This is why I said in the last thing we talked about, not telling anyone. If you have a resolution that is supposed to appease someone else, it's going to fail. If your resolution is not about you, it's going to fail. Give you an example. You got your woman complaining about you, Why don't you ever want to do stuff with me? You always going out with your girlfriends. How come you don't want to do anything with me? Or you got your girlfriend, saying, how come you always out with the guys? You don't want to do anything with me. And so your resolution is, I'm gonna start doing more things with you. That is going to fail. It's going to fail. You cannot change based on somebody's complaint. You can't change based on it. Hell, customer service does not change based on a customer's complaint. Okay? And here you're trying to do it, and you're not even running a company. It will fail every time. It will fail every time. It's sort of like someone who's overweight and they keep hearing their significant other saying, oh, you're so overweight. Oh my gosh, why don't you lose some weight? When we got together, you weren't this heavy. And so you make this resolution and you say, you know what? I'm going to lose weight. And they're really going to see how appealing that I am. I'm going to do it. You're going to fail. You are going to fail. Because you're looking for motivation from that person. You're trying to appease someone else. So you can say, oh, look at me, look at me. I did it, I did it. I bet you didn't think I could do it. I did it. You failed. I mean, we're going to have the talk. You will fail. This cannot be about someone else. Your resolutions cannot be about someone else at all. At all. And last but not least, right here it is. You have to take it one day at a time. If you are expecting any of the goals that you have set in place, that you decide to call resolutions, that you said, I've made a firm decision to do this or not to do this, you have to take it one day at a time. And in that one day at a time, you cannot judge based on what someone else is trying to do. That's why I said you can't tell anyone. You guys are sitting around the table sharing your resolutions. And guess what? Your friend is doing well with her resolutions and you over here struggling because you got donut crumbs on the side of your mouth and you just like, I just feel so bad right now. I just really, really feel terrible. You have to take it one day at a time. I don't know what to do. We were doing this together. And I mean, she's already lost like 5 pounds and I've gained 15. One day at a time, one day at a time, one day at a time. You can't do that. Because if you don't take it one day at a time, you're going to start judging yourself by somebody else's yardstick. You're going to start saying, wait a minute, we started this together. Why am I not looking halfway decent like she is? Well, sweetie, that's because you're eating donuts and she's not. But because she's not eating donuts doesn't mean that you have to absolutely fail. It just means just get right back on the bike. That's all. You falling off. Just get right back on the bike. But if you don't take it one day at a time, you'll start making these unhealthy comparisons and your resolution will fail. If you don't take it one day at a time, because you're too busy wondering why Susie is like, wait a minute, wasn't her face like a chipmunk's 2 weeks ago? This girl is looking good. And what's the matter with me? Why you got crackers in your hand? That's an issue. That's an issue because you're not looking at this as a one day at a time thing. Good to see you, X. Good to see you. So when you're not looking at it as I have to take this one day at a time, I have to look at this one day at a time, then you're going to fail. You're absolutely going to fail. Period. Because remember at the beginning, I stated, what is a resolution? And I've been stating this all through this talk. It's a firm decision to do something or not to do something. You said this is where you're standing firm. But along with that, you have to remember that your habits will always overrun and outweigh that resolution, because you will always fall back on your habits. You will always fall back on your habits. That's why 80% of resolutions fail. They absolutely fail. Again, you cannot say you're going to stop eating sweets on January 1st and you've been eating sweets since December 1st. You didn't have pies, cupcakes. That's on your grocery list. That's what you buy. And so you think all of a sudden, January 1st, some magic wand is going to come in and wave across the new year, and you're automatically not going to have a taste for sugary treats. You a lying wonder. You crazy as hell. It doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. And as soon as you have, that nice Burger King chocolate shake, you're going to cry about it and say, oh my gosh, I wasn't supposed to have this. Oh, well, but since I got it now, I might as well. And then you won't even try again. You won't even try. That's why. That is why 80% of the resolutions that you have will absolutely fail. But there's good news. I have good news before I get out of here. I have some very good news before I get out of Dodge. And that good news is this. You can do anything that you set your mind to. If you set your mind, I want you to set your intention. I want you to make a goal, a short-term goal, and do it in steps. Do it in paces. Do it one day at a time. And when you find, and let me tell you something, I do not want you to wait till something is really, really big to celebrate. I want you to celebrate yourself every step along the way. Because if you want it, you can have it. Period. Period. No magic wand. No magic words. Just set your intention and you can have that thing. I thank you for joining me. Remember, this has been 30 minutes of practical wisdom and common sense. You are loved, you are valued, and you are appreciated. And I will see you on the next episode. Love you guys. Bye now.